All right, speaking of another billionaire, Bezos taking heat in India, will he do? Taking some real heat in India. So you know this very well. You're familiar with that marketplace. Crazy, huge, fast-growing marketplace for all things tech, technology, smartphones, and so forth, and just a rapidly accelerating economy, to be honest. Let's just be clear on that. They've got a couple different ways to buy online there. When I was visiting there, I ended up finding out a little bit about it. Flipkart being this big player, Amazon competitor. Then I come to find out Flipkart gets bought for many billions of dollars by Walmart. Oh. So Walmart takes a big stake in the place. And then Amazon, in an attempt to compete, dominate, as you would if you were Amazon, they come and plan to make a big investment of $1 billion themselves into the country to become that de facto standard online retailer. Now, I don't know if they expected this or not, but protests are kind of popping up around the country from people who aren't so happy about Amazon coming in with the potential to dominate, stating that it's going to affect many local retailers, smaller retailers, who are going to be unable to compete when Amazon comes in with their competitive nature. Now, origin story on Amazon, they put the bookstores out of business. You remember this, Will?
Yeah. It first started with selling books.
Books. Yeah. And they wanted the books because, and I mean, you can read all about this, the Everything Store. There's a lot of, there's books written about Amazon's origin in books. You see how that goes, Will?
Sold on Amazon.
And you buy them on, you buy a book on Amazon about how books made Amazon.
Yeah.
Well,
Noggin.
that's what that,
Noggin.
that's what that is. That's that meme.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That's what that meme was for. They started with books because the books, they could play with the margins. They were selling books at a loss because they knew eventually we're going to cash in. We'll put you all out. We'll keep funding it. We don't need to post a profit. Our shareholders know what we're up to. They see me. I'm Bezos. I got it all up top. Mm-hmm. Let me sell the books like this for now. Stop asking me for those earnings. You'll get them. You'll get them. I'll put them all out of business first. You'll get them. Of course, it's all history now. I think it might have worked.
Yeah.
Now, these guys, the local retailers, they say, we don't want to be the next bookstore. Mm-hmm. Amazon can come in here. They can undercut. They got the volume. They could give preferred seller status to some retailers and not us. And is my listing going to pop to the top if I do participate, like myself, if I do my listings or fulfillment through Amazon? How do I get found? How do I continue to get cut in? So they're holding up the sign that says, Jeff Bezos, go back. That's the signs that they're holding up right now in certain places. Now, I don't know if it's everyone. Obviously, I'm not on the scene. I'm not on the ground. But apparently, according to sources there, this article coming via Business Insider, they said protests could reach as many 300 different cities in India. The thing is, Bezos actually went there. He went there to celebrate the $1 billion, expecting to be embraced. Well, I don't know if he expected to be embraced or what he expected, but I'm sure there's some people that are all right with it. They'll take the $1 billion. What, do you got, $1 billion? You want to spend it here? Come right in. What do you want to do, sit in that chair right there? Let's go. Now, here's the tough part about this. By the way, they're calling Bezos an economic terrorist in parts of India. I'm sure that not everyone feels this way. There's two sides to every story. And I can speak from personal experience. I understand the risk factor in being too dependent on one dominant player in any space. It could be risky business for an economy. Amazon, for me personally, has been incredibly convenient. I can't lie to you, Will.
Yes, I too. I agree. It's been very convenient.
It's disrupted things in a way that has served me well to this point. Now, there's going to be people viewing this that say, yeah, enjoy that for a bit. Because they'll ratchet it up. They can turn up the volume when they want once they get that dominant position. It's a chess game, Will. Eventually, they come for you. Eventually, you get dependent on it. You don't even know how to tie your own shoes. Jeff's around the corner. He said that'd be $53.
It's like, I got that for you. Don't worry about it. It's a robot that will tie my shoes.
He's got it. You understand? So you don't see it till you see it. And I understand. So I understand both sides of the conversation. But nonetheless, I will state that up until this point, I would consider it to be beneficial for me. And I can imagine that there's also some individuals in India, consumers, that are saying, hey, bring the Amazon. We want more activity. We want more availability. We want more. Because I was hearing this even from people when I was there locally, when I was there myself. They're saying we don't like these flash sale situations. We can't get our hands on a thing when we want to. It sells out. They're playing with us. I heard that particular criticism, that they were getting played with. And so maybe they want somebody like Amazon in there, but there's enough people on the economic analysis, and there's enough local retailers that are upset about it. And it's not the first time Amazon's been met with this. They were met with something similar in Europe as well in 2018, stated again in the article here, that they're too dominant, that they come in and they call the shots right away because they're just running with boatloads of cash, Will.
Okay.
You're saving something up here. I'm going to back off.
No.
Hey, man, I feel it. I feel the energy you got to take. You were winding up. You were annoyed. You were just like, can he shut up already? I got the real thing to lay down, and I just need a little bit of space. Clear them out. It's like, just what it's like, Will. It's like at the end of an NBA game when you're the star player, which is you, obviously, and you're like LeBron James or something, and everybody clears out. All the other players, they take a look. You're handling the ball. They're just like
spotlight.
It's a one-on-one. We're just gonna make some space. They part like the sea, Willie do. So I'm gonna do that for you right now. In 3, 2, 1, I'm silent.
All right, geez. Okay. Well, I want to ask you, since I didn't read this article here, they're gonna pump $1 billion into the country, and how are they gonna be successful? Are they like brick and mortar? Are they like adding vendors into like their system or something in India? Like, how are they?
The $1 billion is supposed to be spent to help small businesses get online through Amazon's platform.
Oh, so they get that deduction if they're like in Amazon as a vendor. It's like 30% goes to Amazon kind of thing.
But maybe not initially, right? They probably just want people to get online.
They rope you in.
There's probably some incentives to do so early on, which may change down the road. That's the hesitation.
I see.
It's going to cost money, though. Were you there with me? Oh, you weren't there with me. I'm telling you, man, there are smartphone retailers like how you see convenience stores or supermarkets over here. There's so many independent smartphone vendors in India. Still, a huge percentage of the activity is brick and mortar. So he goes over there, spends $1 billion, various teams and whatnot, sending people door to door to get these vendors online, but under the Amazon banner. They would be a seller, I guess, on Amazon, something like this. And so the concern is that these vendors are getting strong-armed. If he's going to spend $1 billion and bring everybody online, but sort of control the marketplace as you would,
right,
then do I want to be forced into joining? Because I'm going to feel pressure if my next door neighbor goes online and I'm not on. He's now more competitive, and it's a real tough situation. So it's another one kind of like the original story where I want to ask people who are in that population, viewers from India, how they feel about it. They probably know this marketplace very well. I know it a little bit, like I said, based on my exposure, some degree of exposure to it. But it's an interesting conversation nonetheless about what the future looks like. And I hate to say it because these guys are holding the signs, but I don't really see a way around it. They have found systems and put systems in place that are just incredibly convenient, Will, and efficient. I'm getting something delivered 5 minutes later. What's going on here? Who competes with that? I'm a vendor on the corner. I'm just saying you can hold up the sign, but when your buddies all sign up and the customer gets used to the convenience of Amazon and Flipkart, I suppose, these types of services, it's just how can you as an independent vendor compete with that from a customer experience standpoint? Let alone if you think you can compete on cost or whatever other factor. I'm saying it. I get it. I like the fact they're organized. They have a point of view. But I don't know about holding up this sign. I really don't know what's going to do. We'll see. We'll see. because they might get the government involved. They could have some, they have a confederation of all India traders. They're making it political. They're talking about the foreign economic terrorists. They're going back, talking about the colonization of India back in the day. They're calling Amazon the second version of East India Company. That was one of the companies from the colonization. It's heavy. It's heavy. So, of course, I'm not going into all that. But it's heavy. So we got to lean on our viewers from over there to let us know how they feel. Amazon yay, Amazon nay. We're going to see it in the comments.